How are you, my friend?
My heart is beating really fast.
Okay.
I'm slowing down now. I was on a call with Josh Putnam, and the same thing happened where when it was my turn to speak, my heart was beating really, really fast, like out of my chest. And I said the same thing, like I was able to just say, "Okay, hold on, there's something happening." And he said, like, "Yeah, it's really." I said I labeled it as like nervousness.
Yeah.
And then he said something like, or maybe it's excitement.
Yeah.
He's like, he goes, it's so exciting to be seen sometimes. It's so exciting to let yourself be seen or something like that.
You met. Yeah. So true.
So my question was, maybe I just need to be reminded that you said that thoughts and delusions, or no, the layers.
May I just stop you for a sec? Before
Yeah.
you ask the question. Just because we're not talking doesn't mean that a lot of things are not happening in you. So you saying just a moment and you're just sitting, I can see how much is happening in you. Your lips are moving, your throat is moving, your breath is changing, your eyes are reacting. A lot of things are happening in you right now, even though you're not talking. It's not always important to talk. Sometimes it's just important, like Just was pointing out, to be seen, to be held, holding space for, be held space for. And right now you're sitting here, 13 people are on the call right now holding space for you. And for a lot of us, that is more than what we're doing for ourselves during the day. And that alone is a very, very beautiful act. And it's one of the reasons why I love having groups, because we're having not only tenfold, but 13 times fold right now. You're having what you're not giving yourself, holding space for whatever is coming up. We have 13 people right now just sitting with you with whatever is coming up, and we're holding space for it, and we're sending you love, and we're giving you permission to take as much time as you need. You don't need to be smart or intelligent or ask the right question or anything. You're just allowed to be here. And we enjoy you just for being here.
Hmm.
I just wanted to
When I,
I just
yeah,
wanted to
that's
put
great.
the of that. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
When I listened back to the recording of Josh, when I asked my question, like at the end of it, he said something like, "You remember that feeling you felt in the beginning? Like, stay with that. Like, just stay there. Just, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't even need to, ask the question.
It
It's
was a
always
kind of
about just stay there. That's the answer to every question, or something like that."
yeah. Yeah. It was funnily enough exactly the same that I just did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You're free to ask your question though.
Yeah. Because then when I listened to it back, I was like, what did he mean by that? Like, oh my God, it was just pounding out of my chest, pounding, pounding. Like, um, yeah, it's the same answer, I think, to my question is, so the layers of delusion that you talk about is that is the same thing. Thoughts are layers of delusion, right?
Yes. And then we
Okay.
create a lot of diversions on top of that.
Right. So, for example, if you put it right there, like the heart beating, pounding, like there's that just sensation happening, and then there's the thoughts about not just, oh, it's my heart doing this, and there's a story connected about why it's doing that. There's just and then there's everything else that describes it or that tries to perceive it is the thoughts, right?
And every single thought is just a diversion.
Every single thought.
Yeah.
Every single thought.
Can you come up with something that's not a diversion from this moment? The moment we open our mouths and start to talk, we're diverting from what is actually present right now. It can be helpful. I'm not saying that it's not helpful. It can be helpful, and that's why we have all the inquiries and the one-to-ones and the groups and all of that, because it can really, really be helpful. But it is, in its foundation, just a diversion from what is. It can be helpful in looking into the diversion and becoming aware of the diversions and getting tools to looking at it. But in its foundation, at the end, what all of it is pointing at, what all of us are pointing at, it's the same thing. It's what is present right now.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'm asking that question too because I was noticing something happened and I was noticing how I was going back in time and telling a story about it. And, when I first had that glimpse, I finally got what they meant by it's just this because, yeah.
Do you
But
see?
so somehow it's coming back though, where I had realized it was just this, but now I'm back to the imagination of this, imagining, remembering, telling a story about it, thinking about how it could have went differently. Like I'm back to
Yeah,
doing that again.
yeah. But the mind does that. The mind creates, like a parallel universe where we could have done different, and the the outcome would have been different. That's just thoughts. It's just thoughts.
Okay, and the thoughts are just another sensation.
Yeah, no. The important,
Or
yeah, the importance of and what you can use it for. Okay, you have your bubble, right? You have the bubble of reality, and that bubble has mirrors on the inside. Everything you think, you see and hear and feel and taste and touch, and what other people are saying and what other people are not saying, what other people are doing, not doing, all of that is just pointing at something in you that needs your compassion, love, and kindness. So when you're in the moment and you get a thought about a past experience, you can go to therapy and talk about that past experience and the thought about and the story about that past experience all that you want for the next 20 years. Off you go. Or you can see, how is that experience relevant right now? What is it in that I need to right now in me create love and compassion and kindness for? What is the correlation between these two things? Why am I, of all the things I could think of, why is it that I'm thinking of? What is it right in that? There's a clue in that. Just like with a computer game or murder mystery or something like that. Something is happening for you to have a clue to the next puzzle. So why is it exactly that thought?
Um, I was just looking for my charger because my computer might die. But you're asking me why is it I should be asking in the moment that I'm having the thought? What is it about that thought?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, that experience of all
Oh,
the
that
things you
experience.
could think of all
Okay.
the things, all the stories you could pick out of the hat. You have that bullshit backpack, right? Of all the bullshit stories, why is it that one you take up? That story is relevant right now. Why?
Okay. Ask myself why?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of all the stories, why is that one relevant? What is it in you right now that needs love and compassion and kindness? What is it you're blind to right now that story can bring, freedom about?
Okay. Can I tell you about the story?
Oh, love to hear it. I love stories.
So it was just I was talking to someone and I think what happened was I was nervous about approaching him because he's attractive. And I said something like, "How you doing?" when I first approached him. And it felt so inauthentic. Like when I was looking back at the experience, I felt, wow, I was so inauthentic. I wanted that connection with him, but for some reason, I had to be inauthentic and like open up with like, "How you doing?" Like, why did I say that? I said to myself, like, the thought was, why did I say that? Like, and then I thought, and then I also had the thought, like, oh, it's because it's connected to something like, oh, I'm not good enough, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's connected to that. Like somehow there's that's what's here.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you have this idea that because he was attractive, that you needed to be different.
Yeah. Yeah.
Him being
I think,
attractive, do you know that he's not?
do I know that he's not?
Yeah, attractive.
Oh, he's not because that's just the label of what he is, right?
No, no, it's your subjective opinion. There are lots of men and women out there that go like, "What?"
Uh, yeah, but he's not. He is to me.
He's to you, exactly, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, so you have a story about him being attractive, and you have a story about you needing to be in a certain way towards people that are attractive.
Okay.
So it's two stories for the price of one.
And
Is
but there's a third story that was added at the end that was I wanted connection with him,
yeah. Why do you
right?
think?
And huh?
Yeah, go on.
The third story was I wanted to just when I first had the glimpse, the connection was it was so beautiful with people because there was no agenda, there was no thing in the back saying something about this. It was just complete. It was just yeah, it was just freedom, and
Yeah.
it was a beautiful connection of authenticity
Do you see?
that in that moment I was missing it. Like
Yeah,
that was the third. Oh, and I missed that.
yeah. So do you see how inauthentic you were towards him?
Yes, and that's why, and I was sad about that.
And
Because I knew, because something still, like you said, with the fetters, something still knows that it's okay. Like I don't need to,
but
you
there's,
know.
yeah, there's a fourth story. There's a story saying that you're not connected with him.
Oh, 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 oh. Okay. Okay.
There's a story where you believe in a separate Jaheda and a separate attractive guy.
Yes,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
that's the same story of I wanted that, or I missed that, or I had that when I first had the glimpse.
But do you see that? Do you remember that the slide that I always use with a pear and an apple standing next to each
Yeah,
other, and the pear goes, "I'm an apple. I wish I was a pear."
yeah, I remember.
Yeah. So you think that you're not connected to the attractive guy, and you think that you are lesser than the attractive guy, and you need to, jump through hoops for him not to find out that you're lesser than attractive guy. All that is just story upon stories upon stories. You are attractive guy. He is Jaheda. It's the space between, who was it, Irene? I think it was Irene and the fly.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I could touch that before.
Yeah.
I could touch that space
It's still
before.
here. It's still here. It hasn't gone
And
anywhere.
it, yeah, and it was there too when I see the image of talking to him, there was like I could look him in the eyes, like there was a connection of like I could sense it.
Also, if time doesn't exist, we're doing that in the seventh feather where we completed this all time. If time doesn't exist, you are already connected with an attractive guy. That meeting has already happened. You need to believe in time to believe that there's a before attractive guy, a meeting attractive guy, and after attractive guy. You need to believe in time for that to happen. And if that doesn't exist and everything is happening in the same split second, in the same moment, everything is present in the same moment, so is the connection heart to heart with attractive guy. So there's nothing to
Okay.
focus about. It has already happened.
The connection has already happened?
Of course.
Yeah. Okay. It's deep. You're going deep with me for now.
I love that.
But that's what the also what the wheel is about. Like, let's go there, even though, you know.
Even though you have right at this moment you believe in time, and there's certain conveniences with believing in time, because then you still got work to do and all of that. By you going over to attractive guy and saying hi, by doing that without any agenda or anything, it's like an old friend that you are meeting. Oh, there you are. Like, I haven't seen Lisa for the longest time, and then she comes on the screen and it's so nice to see her again. That is how we can meet everyone. That attractive guy, he's a friend. You might not know right now that he's a friend, but that's just because you're completely delusional.
Yes.
We're
It,
all ignorant. Who
I,
am I to
I
know?
I know, but the memory, the image in my mind, I didn't I didn't go up to him like that. I went up to him from the place of
You are
I don't
attractive.
know how I'm gonna look to you right now, or thinking about how I look to you.
Yeah,
Instead of, because when I replayed it, like, oh shit, why didn't I just do that? Say hi and
yeah.
just take a moment right there and to just stay with, wow, I'm feeling something, you know?
Yeah.
But and I have done that with people before where it's like scary for other people, you know, maybe, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, but that's also
Absolutely.
another story. Okay.
So do you know why? What did it remind you of?
What did what remind me of?
When you believed in the story that he was attractive, you're not, you need to be and play a role for him to wanting to talk with you. Where in your timeline is that relevant? Where are we in the trauma? What was that story and experience pointing at? What in you needs love and compassion that wasn't met then? Why did that have to happen for you to get the insight that you didn't, that you haven't got yet, if we can say it like that?
Hmm. I keep getting that. Yeah, I'm not good enough. Yeah, I guess maybe there's something,
Is,
I
is
don't
that
know what that's connected to.
is that true that you're not good enough, or what is it you need to? It's just a diversion. What is it diverting from? How does it feel to be in your body right now?
Um, it just feels neutral. It's like the mass that I feel that is here. It's the yeah, it's quiet, it's still.
So what is different from now and the moment before you decided to go over and say hi?
What is different between now and the moment before I decided to say hi?
Yeah.
The moment before I decided to approach him, it was like, oh, I'm just gonna tell him. I'm just gonna tell him because I wanted to tell him something. I don't know. Because I was gonna message him and then I was like, no, I'm just gonna approach him instead. Why do I need to message him? He's here. I'm just gonna say it to him now. So in that moment right before, it was like a moment of this is fine. I can just walk up to him. What's the problem?
And what is different?
What
Yeah, what is different in that moment, the moment you're in right now, and then when you were on the way over to him?
on the way over to him,
Yeah.
it was the same. It was the same as this. It was neutral. It was only after I said, "How you doing?" and he
Okay.
replied.
Perfect. Okay, then stop in that moment where you say something and he hasn't replied yet. What's the difference in the body?
um, it's like nervous. Yeah. I mean, I remember being nervous.
Okay, so now you see the difference.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay. Can you feel into that difference? How does it feel in the body?
When I think about being nervous, oh, then
No, how it felt when you had said hello and he hadn't said anything yet. And now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it was nervous then. It was nervous, and I can feel it a little bit now.
Okay, so how does it feel in your body? You're pointing towards the sternum. Yeah.
It's more like tighter here.
Okay. How does that feel?
It feels tighter, some kind of tightness in my throat and in my chest right here.
Does it remind you of something?
Nope. I know what nervous feels like.
But nervous is not one thing.
Mhm. Yeah, it's like uncertainty.
Is it about stepping out of your safety zone?
Is it about being seen?
There you go.
Yeah, yeah. It's scary being seen.
Okay. Especially by an attractive guy.
Yeah, and instead of just staying with that, this is scary. This is here. This is
Yes.
he has to see. He's about to see me.
Yeah.
I went into a story about
Yeah.
how, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So there was a
I diverted instead of just staying with that.
exactly. Exactly. So we're still back to you see you. What needs compassion and love and kindness for you is to see you. Once you have seen every single room of you, then you're completely fine with other people seeing it too, because you've been in there.
Me seeing me.
Yeah. It's always
That was never allowed to. I was never allowed. I don't let myself do it because I divert with something.
yes. Yeah. So what would happen if you saw you in every single aspect? If you really, really, truly understand, when I talk about the bubble of reality, and you really, really, truly understand it, that everything is only ever about you. It's only ever about you seeing you. It's nobody else. It's you seeing you. It's you meeting you. It's you loving you. You accepting you. You understanding everything about you. You being completely okay with you. Everything is only ever about you.
But there is no me.
Oh, that would be so great if we could just, jump straight into that and not have to look at any of the other stuff.
Okay, yeah, because it kind of reminded me too of when I heard when I had the glimpse, like I could like go up to anyone and say anything and ask for anything. I felt so powerful to just, wow, I just want to ask for everything that I've ever wanted that I was too scared to ask for. Because if they say no, it's totally okay. Like if
Completely
he says no, like yeah.
fine. Yeah.
But then I said, because it's not about me.
Yes.
But now you're saying, but
No, no,
maybe I'm
no, no, no,
overthinking
no,
it.
no, 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 no. I love the little twist you're trying to make now. No, when you
Because I
know,
saw, yeah,
yeah,
because I was seeing it then. I was
you had
seeing it.
you had a glimpse into what it means when there's no identification to anything anymore.
Yes,
What you're looking at, and that's what the honeymoon period and the glimpse is about.
yes,
When we then go back from that and back into the identification, all the things that comes up are things that needs to be seen through and be loved and held and felt compassion and love and kindness towards before they can let go. Once they have been loved for being there, and we're not diverting anymore, and we're not avoiding them anymore, and everything is completely fine, then life is as it was in that glimpse. Right now, you're at the point where there are things that you need to acknowledge, that everything you see, hear from outside, it's only what you think what you think you see and you hear. Everything is a reflection of you. So what is it right now that needs your compassion and love, so you can get that glimpse again? So that can be your life. What is it you need to de-identify with at this moment? And you can only de-identify with loving it and don't wanting it to go away ever. Everything is fine. It can be here for as long as it needs.
okay. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. You're so
I
welcome.
love you.
Oh, I love you so much. I love you so much. So much, so much. I love the way the work that you do. I love how you just diligently keep looking into it and you keep coming back and coming back. You're so honest and authentic with yourself. I love it so much.